Hey there, my name's Tom, and I'm a Canadian, so there's that. This is the first time going live on YouTube, and let's see where this goes. Title of the program today is, I think it's Free Canada, Free World. It's an interesting question when we put it to ourselves, whether or not we're actually free. What does that mean? We say we want to be free, but do we really want to do what it takes to get that done? So that's why I'm here. I didn't think it was going to be this easy to go live, but it matters not where I start or where we start. It just matters that we do. So here we are. So, where to begin? I've been around for 48 years, and from all my waking moments that I remember, we have been subject to other than freedom. So I'd like to discuss that with anybody that wants to. But in the meantime, I'm just going to ramble on and see where it goes. Currently, I live in a city in British Columbia, Canada, called Penticton, BC, which is called Penticton. And from the outset, you might find, or you might think, wow, they got it pretty good in that town. Seems to be a lot of money. But you would be mistaken. There might be a lot of old money here, but it sure doesn't get spread around. I walked here today from my place at the Beaumont, located here in Penticton, British Columbia, Canada. And on my walk, I met another individual, 46 years old, male, from Medicine Hat. And he's living on the street. It's getting colder out. Most likely he'll survive because he's from Medicine Hat. And if you know anything about Medicine Hat, Alberta, it is really quite cold there. So Penticton is probably one of the best places to be if you're homeless. So we'll take all your homeless, Canada. Penticton won't be very happy with it. We don't have the facilities to accommodate it, but the climate, unless you're going to go to the coast, the climate seems to be relatively reasonable. Why do we have so many living on the street? Why are we still dealing with the same issues? But never really dealing with them, never really fixing them. It's getting worse. And I suppose it has to get worse before it gets better. But that does not mean that we should sit on our couches, watch our TVs, and hope it all goes away. We have a responsibility to each other to make sure these things don't happen. Got a connection problem here. There we go. Our connection's back. So let's continue on with the same thought, seeing that this is where we have started. Homelessness in Canada. If we don't think that this is a real thing, why don't you visit Hamilton, Ontario? I was there last year for an extended period of time. I'm also from that area. I was born in Hamilton. And, well, it's pretty bad there, too. And it's freaking cold. So, we pointed out the fact that there is a distinct, very real current problem. And when it comes down to it, we can't rely on government or churches, religion in general, to fix it. And it's no use asking, because they're not interested in helping. Organizations, political parties, church affiliations, denominations. What have we become? We can come at it from the angle that churches, in particular the Christian church, specifically evangelicals, are doing more harm than good. You might find that my thoughts go from one thing to the other, but in the end, if you listen long enough, you'll see the connection. But don't take my word for it. Don't trust this, whatever this is, because all of our minds have been compromised. So, collectively, we need to figure out why it is that we're so disconnected from our hearts. So unable to see that the way we're living currently, with all the greed, pride, we've become a greedy nation, Canada. And my connection went down, and I'm back again with the same thought of greed. I would rather this live thing that we are doing now, as hard as it is for us to comprehend, this is not a lecture. This is not a guy telling you what to do. This is only a man, same as you, and we all need to come together and discuss these issues in great detail. Because it's a very complex problem, and it requires all of us to fix it. So, with that in mind, I'm going to have another sip of my coffee, and we're going to get into it a little deeper. And maybe someday, one day, there might be someone on the other end that is listening and wants to participate in this dialogue with me. As much as we like to think we are alone in our minds, alone in our thoughts, somewhere down the line, we're going to have to really understand, stop sleeping, understand how connected we are, not only as Canadians, but as human beings. So, I hope someone's out there I know someone's out there. It matters not. Like I said at the beginning, it only matters that we try. It only matters that we do. It only matters that we put one step in front and keep moving. Not repeating the same patterns, not compromising in any way, not believing for the sake of believing another. There are those out there that firmly believe in doctrines like Jesus Christ coming back again. The Zionist movement is very strong within the evangelical church, with us a long, long time. From generation to generation, each have thought that the second coming of Christ was going to come in their lifetime. And he didn't. So fundamentally, there is a real problem with this ideology. How does this connect to homelessness? Well, it all connects to our never-ending lust for greed, more. So the gap gets bigger. What was once the middle is now not. There is no more middle. And the middle is the place where we want to go. Don't trust me. Look inside yourself. Turn your fucking TVs off for a while. You have enough information in your head now. Realize you don't know anything. Come to that understanding that the more you know, the more you have no fucking clue. Unlearn everything. From the time we were born, the day we die, most of us have accepted an identity which is not us. We are not a name. We are not a number. We just simply are. We've bought into this paradigm way too long. And the road to recovery means that we have to die to ourselves. And what does that mean? What is that? What does that mean? Self. Me. I. You. Separate? Time. Millions and millions of years have we been here. And yet, we always come to the same place. Freedom. Is it possible in this lifetime? Are we always going to have these different classes of people? Those with, those without? Those with power, those with no power, those with money, those without money. Those with influence, and those without. Are we going to continue to allow a small group of prideful, greedy people, behaviors to rule us? This thing can be remedied with the snap of a finger. If we all, in silence, using our intelligence, not our cleverness, to understand the predicament we're in. Once we understand and we recognize that we are sick, then and only then can we get better. Know you are sick. get better.
You as well. It was really nice to meet you.
Hi,
Bye, Terry.
my name is Tom. My legal name is Tommy Glenn Cowles. My social insurance number is 490-993-672. I will not be needing this number ever again. I will no longer and have not been for a long time part of the system. I live small, and I get by, and I do not require anyone's money. How do we fix this greed problem in our country? Let's start there. Yeah. I got an idea. I think it's solid. It's not new. But here it is. Cheers. Cheers to the end of the monetary system that has served us no good. And cheers to the new system that involves simple trade. My services for your services. My things for your things. If you don't have something, maybe I might. How can we help each other? And let's figure it out from there. I started out by saying where I'm from. But quite honestly, I have no connection to this place. I've had approximately 3 different viable businesses here in town, one of which I spent 8 years of my life building, only to have it taken from me from people who had more money, influence, and power. I live in the town where when it gets colder and the homeless have no place, most get shipped out somewhere else so that they can deal with the problem and not them. Penticton, British Columbia. When you take a look at how much space there is between each city in Canada, when you see the vastness there is no reason why anyone should be homeless. But we've built fences, walls, impressive structures to keep people out. We build fences around our orchards, our crops, so that even though things fall to the ground, and they will never be used for anything else except for fertilizer, we still won't allow people to eat. There are organizations out there that are doing things that benefit. Food bank, a little shelter here and there. Some church initiatives. But we are so off the mark. The time for being ashamed is not worth it. The time for pointing fingers doesn't serve us anything. The time for name calling and accusing will not bring an end to this. The time for violence has no place, because for every action there is an equal or opposite reaction. So violence creates more violence, which just creates a lot more fucking violence. The shift that we have to make is a shift that individually we all have to make sure that the collective does better than it is currently doing. There's an optimal way of living, and we sure as fuck are not living it. Anyone who is offended by certain language that I or others may use, you are missing the fucking point. So,
I know. I'm dreading winter.
if we're here just to judge one another and wait for someone to make a mistake, to say something we don't agree with, or to say something in a way we don't agree with, then you are out of the fucking discussion. Because we don't need you dragging the whole with your negativity, your self-righteous attitude, your hypocrisy, and your overall pride. So, now I'm talking to the majority of people, the majority of humanity, the majority of Canadians, the majority of the people that are in my town. Understand that there are those that don't want the best for everybody or do not care, do not think, do not feel passion towards those with nothing, little. These people are entitled, judgmental, greedy, greedy people. And where greed is, compassion doesn't live. And this is not a town, province, a country, or a world that we want to live in. Currently, the United States of America is in rough fucking shape. And Canada is too. And I'm not sure if this is going to change in my lifetime. But I can assure you that I will not stick around if there's no evidence of it getting. Surround yourself with people that are kind, that love unconditionally, that understand that we all have different talents, expertise in various areas. Surround yourself with these people that know that together we are more intelligent, have the ability to solve problems easily, effectively. Surround yourself with people that give a shit. Who are we? What have we become? What have we put our young men through in war? Women, some, men, many. What war are we fighting now? This war on terror is a fictional war. This war on terror, we need to question more. Governments have become corrupt. Maybe they were always corrupt. Put too much power in the hands of few and watch the decay of everything that you've built up. Watch the destruction of civilization. This is the way it is currently. Again, we can say we want to fix it, but what are we willing to? Well, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to have another sip of my coffee. This will be my home for the next while. I will not be going live on Facebook anymore for a while. I will not be posting original video for a while on Facebook. It would seem that Facebook has too much control over what is being said. And I'm not good with restrictions, and I will not be put in a box. And I will not conform to the masses because you greedy people just want more. You say that there's jobs, that the economy is strong.
But Mackenzie, so Mackenzie popped open here, and where did she stay over?
What kind of jobs are you creating?
So this was Mackenzie's spot.
Who does it work for?
Super.
Well, I think we know all the answers to that. We know that the rich get richer off the backs of regular people, and most likely those people have very, very little. So now we're scraping the barrel.
So she went out there, came back to get all her stuff.
And this kind of life is not sustainable. Something's got to give. Look around you. Look how much violence is in the world.
But this was just to see it.
Look inside yourself. Evaluate your own thoughts. Do not be ruled by fear. Fear is a technique that is used and has been used for millions and millions of years to ensure that people follow the rules. And we don't need any more fucking rules. The more rules and laws that are created, the more criminals we create. The more desperation there is on the earth. Tribalism, patriotism, liberalism, conservatism, evangelism, fucking isms. Capitalism. Where has it gotten us? Banks and governments have too much power. This is easily solved. Don't use banks. Don't pay your taxes. Refuse to be in the system. We can take it from here. Free. We want to be free. We are not free. We are not free in our minds. We are not free in our towns. We become slaves to our countries. And we become pawns in this game called life. The world is sick. Collectively, as a whole. As a whole, we are not whole. Wholly, we are not. Wholly, we can be. Do we want this? Or do we continue to live in darkness, fear of losing our houses, losing our things, stuff? Or we live in fear of not having, food, not having shelter, not being in a relationship, fear of being alone. So first we have to deal with our own individual in quotations, lives, our own minds. Take time. Be alone. Be alone and know that we're not alone. Be alone and understand that the connection that we have extends far past our collective minds. But that we're connected to everything that is happening in the universe, which is happening all at the same time. So time as we know it in our minds doesn't exist. Time and space are happening all at the same time. Time, as we know it, as most of us understand it, is man's invention. It's a tool that we use. For what? We find ourselves living in the past And if we're not living in the past, we're living in the future. I wish this would happen. I hope it will happen. This has happened to me in the past. So that's what makes me me? No. Now. Who are we? Now. The past is a creation of the mind. The past keeps us from experiencing more now. Now is the only thing that really exists. The future has not come. It is the past. Is now. Thank you for joining this discussion. I will use time for this program, this discussion. 1 hour. 1 hour at a time. Let's come together. Have the dialogue that is necessary for us to figure solutions to all our problems. Take them one by one and create an optimal way of living for everyone. So that we can enjoy our lives, live harmoniously, peaceful, lovingly, unconditional love towards one another, with no judgments, clean slates, no theories, no ideologies, freedom.